everyone, welcome to this broadcast, How to Have a Dynamic 2019. And I've got some tips for you on here that I bet you haven't heard before. My name is Bess McCarty. I am coach for network marketers, also called the shrink of MLM. And I partner with Jeffrey David Gamble to teach in our school, the MLM Millionaire Club School for Network Marketers. We teach a Sunday night class called Quick Start Basics for Network Marketers. And last Sunday, Jeff was sharing something really cool about how to set design your goals for 2019. So I said, we got to share this on the Tuesday Live and share that with everybody, being that this is a wonderful time of year to be reviewing your 2018 and set up 2019. December is a perfect time to do all this so that you enter 2019 already with the action steps in place that you need to have the kind of life that you want to. So, hey, Greg, welcome. Hi, Marcus. Glad to see you guys. Thanks for coming back on, Marcus. Thanks for contributing to what you do to our lives. So I'm just going to introduce us a little bit. I am a coach for network marketers, but not just a coach. I really was one. Really was one full-time for years. So I've been in the field. I know what it takes. Helped me raise my son as a single mom. I had to overcome my shyness and my fears along the way. Fortunately, I was a body-mind therapist, so that helped a lot to do that. And actually, I became one after that when my company went out of business. I went into therapy for 30 years now. And I bring this back to network marketers, helping them to achieve their goals, teaching both the skills and the mindset. And I met Jeff about 4 years ago on Eric Worre's page and realized that he was teaching some methods that were the best I've ever seen. So I wanted to invited him to teach in our school. Sorry, in my school that I've been running for 10 years. And eventually we knew that we would be doing it together. We would be partners. So we are now in the school. And Brandy Pember too, three-way partners in the school. And so I asked him to come on and teach. Now who is he? He is personally recruited. Well, he's a wonderful person, but what he's done is he's personally recruited over 500 people frontline and built teams to 11,000 people in 7 countries in 3 years. His teams have produced over 10 million in sales in 3 years. He has all this wonderful experience that he brings to the table and that he speaks from. You can hear that when he speaks. So I'm going to see if he's ready to join us here. Invite him on. Jeff, and there's your invite, Jeff, if you're watching. And we will begin. We wanted to bring you the sample of our class, the Quick Start Basics, because it's becoming a very, very popular class. Last time, we got a report from one of the members that she said, gosh, in November, I actually jumped 2 ranks, and I earned a new car bonus, and I quadrupled my sales because of what you guys are teaching and because of your confidence in me. Now, not only all of that, this is Tammy White, bragging on you again, Tammy. Not only all of that, but she said I could share this with you, that she accomplished all this while she went through some personal traumas, including losing a brother in November and going through pneumonia herself with some real difficult health challenges. But she did not let that be an excuse for her. She said she poured herself into her work as a way to use that energy and as sort of a therapy for her. So she did not opt out and say, well, I can't do this because of these things going on in my life. Somehow she actually used those as stepping stones, and I call it, for some people, they do kind of use it as kind of a crucible to actually boost themselves forward. And we've had other people in there inspire us too. Other people in the class, such as a few people also have also jumped ranks. And one lady said, never before did I even do anything with my network marketing business, and now I am. Another lady would have dropped out by now if not for being in the class and continuing to try. And I bet you some good things are going to happen for her too. Some people are in it. They say the personal growth alone is worth it. So we know that really network marketing is a personal growth business, don't we? Okay, Jeff, I have sent the invitation. There you are. All right. Let's see, I sent the invite. Let's see if you pop on. Now, our phones are set up kind of weird so that when Jeff comes on, if I talk or say anything, it's crazy reverberating. So I'm going to bring him on. I'm going to let him share his great method of preparing for creating a dynamic 2019. So Jeff, I'll bring you on, then I'm going to be quiet until you go, and then I'll share some more, okay? Here we go. Bring you on. Your busy day to come on. I appreciate you and working with you, co-teaching with you. Awesome.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm back. And we're talking about how to have a great 2019, correct? Okay. So a couple things. If you want to make this work, Dave's watching. What's happening, Dave? Number one is if you want to have a great 2019, be grateful. Be grateful. Figure out what you're grateful for. I found it's very, very difficult to attract people to what you're doing when you're not happy. And if you're not grateful, you're not happy. So I would think that would be the first thing, is actually make a list of some things you're grateful for. Number one, you're alive. There's 150,000 people each day that do not get that privilege. Sometimes it's hard to see the forest from the trees, especially when you're in a tough position. And I know a lot of people, even though some things seem to be going okay, some people are in a tough position. It may be a tough position with family, it may be a tough position financially, it may be some bad choices that have been made. But number one is grateful. For a long, long time, I was not grateful. I couldn't find things to be grateful. I was focusing on the wrong things. I was focusing on what was not going right. I was focusing on what had happened to me rather than the opportunity that was there. I was only looking at the bad things. So grateful is number one. The second thing that will actually help you make 2019 amazing is give. And giving is more than just, I don't mean necessarily just financially, but financially always is smart too. But when you're grateful and you're giving compliments, giving time to people, when you're giving back in some way, when you're helping in some way, it's amazing how, again, that helps you feel better. And if you feel better, what they say, if you feel better, you do better. So being grateful and giving are probably the first two things. And I know you're like, how in the world does that help me with my business? Well, we're in the business. If you're in the business of MLM, if you're in the business of network marketing, you're in the attraction business. You're attracting people to you. And people are not attractive to desperate, depressed, drama, dangerous, explosive people. That's not what they're attracted to. They're attracted to people who are happy. They're attracted to people who are having fun. They're attracted to people who are going somewhere. So what you have to do is you have to look for those things, even if you don't have. And I know that, Dave, and I can see that. Dave actually comes from an amazing family. I met a lot of his family, a lot of his brothers, and I can see that that's, something that was taught inside of his family is, you have to wake up each day, no matter what happens, and look at what, you're grateful for. You have to wake up each day and give back in some way. And if you can do those two things, then the third thing is you need to get to work. So these are the 3 G's, right? Grateful, give, and then get to work. Getting to work takes a lot it takes a lot of mystery out of success. Because if you're simply working, and it's like, if you're working at all, you'll start to see certain things happen. If you're there once a day, but you're not there long enough, what'll end up happening is you'll see some stuff happen, but somebody else is going to succeed. Well, the good news is, I mean, you'll be mad that somebody else is succeeding, but the good news is if somebody's succeeding in your city, in your town, in your business, then you can succeed. It's been proven. Now, in direct sales, it's kind of easy to see this because most of the time, you're not getting in companies that have been open for 13 minutes. You know, you're not there at the formulation of most things. You're there after somebody spent the money. You're there after somebody spent the time. You're there after maybe decades have already been put in of the research and the hard stuff. And most of us are coming into companies, you know, as employees and or as salespeople, 1099 independent contractors and or distributors, reps, IBOs inside of network marketing companies. Most of us are coming in and most of the hard work's done. Now it's more about marketing. So getting to work really has a lot to do with marketing. There's two things that we say. You have to market internally and externally. Market internally to the people who have already walked in the door, who you've already talked to. You have to stay in touch with them. There's many, many ways to do that. There's email campaigns. There's phone, you know, campaigns. There's text message campaigns. There's Facebook groups. You know, you can make a Facebook group specifically for that group of people. Second, outside of the internal marketing is external marketing. You consistently and constantly have to be externally marketing. Externally marketing is basically, or external marketing is going after new people to bring them in to show them what you do. You know, and then it comes down to your presentation, and then it comes down to all these things. So the marketing is kind of the key piece in getting in front of people. Now, inside of MLM at direct sales, we use something stupid simple. At least I have for a long time. And that's why I've been able to get in front of people in real estate and get in front of people in the mortgage business, and get in front of people inside of MLM and get in front of people inside of the massage business. Whatever I do is, can you do me a huge favor? Can you do me a huge favor? I want to share with you what I'm doing. So if you run into the right person, you can refer them to me. So I go after it from an education standpoint. And if you go after sales from an education standpoint, Moose, what's happening? If you go after it from an education standpoint, hey, do me a favor. I want to share with you what I'm doing. So if you run into the right person, you can refer them to me. Great. Had a guy at the gym once, and he was like, hey, man, what do you do? And I told him, and he's like, I was like, well, by the way, what do you do? And he kind of used my script a little bit and says, oh, I'm actually in car sales, man. If you ever need, or you ever know anybody who needs, you know, help, with a new auto, here's my number, you know, please give me a call. I'll see what I can do to help them out. Even if I don't have the vehicle, I can send them to somebody who does. And I was like, wow, that was really cool, because he did a version of what we do. And it comes from educating as many people as possible. Then after you're able to say that and they're like, okay, tell me what you do. Well, in the direct sales business, obviously in the car business, I didn't have to ask him what a car dealership was. I didn't have to ask him what kind of cars are we talking about, because the card kind of told me, and I have some education. But inside of direct sales, we don't know how all these companies work. We don't know how the products work. So, and we don't know how they started. So there's a couple key things when you're trying to basically get information in front of somebody so that way they can make a decision. Dave and I learned this actually inside of a company, and I kind of took some of this. You know, there was a company that kind of had this list of 7 things to get down to a close. It was meet, greet, bond, location, area, and then it was pre-qualification to find out about the financing, and then we walked them through several stages of, you know, figuring out what kind of lifestyle they lived, you know, 2-story, 1-story, 4 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and then, you know, the layout. And then there were 2 more things. I think it was lot, and then the keys or the close. And that's how you do it in a house. I don't know why I remember that from my memory. I need to actually look up, because it was one of the steps I forgot, but I have most of it. But that's how many times we did it. We did it so many times it's memorized. Well, in the sales business, or inside of direct sales or network marketing outside of real estate, when you do this, it's pretty much the same thing. You're going to contact, you're going to invite, you're going to present, you're going to follow through, and then you're going to get them to an event. And I've always found if you can get them to an event and you walk through all 5 of those steps, your closing ratio goes astronomically higher. Like, instead of 10% or 5% or 1%, you can get as high as 80%. Now, I've got a good friend that out of 40 people that he actually physically got to the event, out of 40, he signed up 39 of them. So his ratio was higher than 80%. I mean, can you imagine a higher than 80%? Now, there were a ton of people that he sat down, he initially called and said they were going to show up, and they didn't show up. Ton of people like that. Out of the people who showed up, he actually presented to and got most of them on the phone with either me or somebody else that we had trained as third party for the kind of the follow-up and the confirmation that we were saying the right thing, that this was true. But out of that group, there was a big group that said they were going to come to the big event that didn't come to the big event. And the big event is just a weekly event. You know, we either brought them, I said, look, we either want to bring them to a training or we want to bring them to a open house or a recruiting event of some kind. Some people call it a briefing. Some call it a business opportunity meeting. Some people call it an open house. We just called it an open house. So that way we stuck with real estate. So I didn't have to learn 2 languages, 3 languages. So that's how we did it. And he brought people to either Tuesday night's open house or Thursday night's training. And out of 40 people, 39 showed up. Now that's frontline in 1 year. Now he sponsored more people than that because he had been in prior to that year and he stayed in after that year. But I mean, coming from 0 background inside of direct sales, he went from becoming a professional. He was a professional basketball player, and he went from professional basketball to construction. English was not his first language. So you can imagine the look on this guy's face when I said, well, what I want you to do is stop using these ridiculous videos and all these links to stuff, and I want to teach you how to present. He was like, Jeff, I can't even speak English well. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I'm well aware of that. That's why if you do this, you're going to become one of the best recruiters out there. He was also a big guy. So I was like, look, when you're sending people a video, they're not buying you. You have the one thing I can't teach, which is ambition. I can't teach ambition. I can talk about it. I can try to train people on ambition, but you're either ambitious or you're not ambitious. Now, you can become ambitious. Anybody can become ambitious. You want to become ambitious, just tell people, hey, the fire's here. You know, if you're on the 40th floor and the fire's below you, look, we got to crawl out the window. We got to do something, or, you know, it's done for us. You'll see people who aren't ambitious get ambitious really quickly. It's just the motivation. But most people are not motivated at moving forward because most people's goal is to get to average. And when they reach average, they reach their goal and then they're good. So that's just what I found. So these 3 things: grateful, give, and then get to work. That's the work that we do. If you'll focus on this, then putting together a plan. You know, what is your plan? What is your overall, the 4th G is, what is the goal? What is the goal? You know, some people are going to have a goal to make more money. Some people are going to have a goal to get to a new level. Some people have a goal to put extra money away. You know, maybe you want a savings account. Maybe you want, you know, an investment account. Is there something you want beyond what you have right now? If there's not something you want beyond what you have right now, figure out what you want and make a goal of it. I like to do it based on a number. You know, if somebody wants a car, I say the car is great. So what kind of car are we going to get? But that's not the goal. And people are like, it's not? I'm like, no. The goal is the amount of money. Because if you have that amount of money, you can buy any car you want. How much is the car? Well, the car is $50,000, $100,000. I said, okay. So rather than just finance the car, because you can go out and finance the car right now. Rather than finance it, what about buying it cash? Oh, well, I never thought about doing that because most people don't do that. Rich people do that. Super rich people do that. Super rich people typically will not finance, they'll buy it because they don't believe in paying the interest and the fees and all that. They're just like, I want the best price possible. And when you come in at cash, think about it. You come in at cash in February before tax season, you get a good deal, a real good deal, especially when you have the money. You're like, well, what will the financing be? It'll be cash. Well, you know, how much a month? Well, you know, we'll take 1 payment, please. You know, the best payment, and you can just sit there forever and be like, yeah, I think it should be cheaper. Yeah, I think it should be cheaper. And just see how many times you do that until you get the best price. And trust me, you'll get a good price if you have the cash. You can verify it. So I say it's a number. You know, well, we want a new house. What's the number? Well, we really want to go on vacation. What's the number? Because here's the thing. It's really easy to work for a number, and it's really easy to calculate a number. Because then you can divide out what needs to happen inside of your business. How many recruits? How much volume? What kind of bonus do you need to get to? What level do you have to be at? If you do it based on the number, then we could do. So what it is, it's the number, and then what benefits will come out of it. my goal for 2019 is to reach this income because I'm going to do this with the money. Now, the cool thing is if you change your mind halfway through the year, you still have the money, you know, and you can do something else with it. So that's what I have for, you know, how to make 2019 amazing. If you set this up ahead of time, if you write down a list of what you're grateful for, you write down what you have the ability to give, you get to work right now. You know, this is stuff you can start working on right now. And then last, you put together a goal, and you want to set the goal before the year begins. Look over what you did this year. Where are you at? And set the goal, and let's get going. Bess, back to you.
Thank you, Jeff. I wonder if I can, hey, I can talk normal. You can be on, I guess. Or if you have to go, that's okay. But I sound normal, don't I? That's cool. Instead of all reverberating. So thank you. If you need to hop off or get to things, I understand that. And just want to say hi. Oh, if you're watching the replay, love if you type in replay, and also love to hear where you're from, everybody. Who's looking forward to a great 2019? Let's make 2019 your best year ever. Or just write in 2019, because there's no limit to what it can be, right? Want to say hi to Greg, Shania, Marcus, Ignacio, Mahmoud, David, Marcel, Lynn, Christy, and Bridget. Thank you all for jumping on here. And Roman. Awesome. Who has a question that you can type in? I'm going to share a little bit more about goal setting and the new year. But who has a question that you might like to type in? Hey, there's Lynn. Awesome. Awesome. Lynn's going to have a good year. Let's make this our best year ever, right? Why not? Why not? Because we can. So here's a cool little exercise that I heard one time to help you kind of brainstorm for 2019. Okay, this is a visualization. You're at your pool in this great big wonderful luxurious new house, and you're resting by the pool, but you're getting ready because a reporter's about to come over to interview you, to ask you, you know, wow, you accomplished so much in 2019. So the reporter arrives and says, gosh, Lynn, you have achieved this and this and this and this and this in 2019, and lists all of your accomplishments in 2019. How did you do it? And you tell that reporter, that interviewer, how you did it all. You know, he tells what you did, and you say how you did it all. So there you go. There's your goals you have for 2019, and there's also your strategy, the action steps. Like you're teaching other people how to do what you just did. So it's kind of a cool exercise in getting to the end, speaking and looking from the end of 2019 in retrospect. You're ready there, and now you're reflecting and telling other people how you got there. So I think that's kind of a cool exercise to look backward. And I could share with you a few questions that I like to ask myself. Maybe one of these will resonate with you. This can apply to everything, not just network marketing, but this can apply to your business, your personal life as well, or if you're in another business, or if you are an employee, because some people love their jobs. They love doing what they like at their jobs. So these questions, excuse my tickle. What compelling future will I create for myself that I have a reason to give it my all? Got this from Tony Robbins when I saw him. I just love that question. I wrote it down. What compelling future will I create for myself so that I have a reason to give it my all? Now, for a lot of people, their reason might be to take care of their family. I personally find that money doesn't motivate me as much as significance does. Also the people that I can help with my money, like Jeff was saying. But significance for me means that somebody counts on me. Whether it's my students, clients, to have a better life, to solve problems, to succeed in their network marketing business, to provide for their families. But somebody counts on me. I do have a family, and I do like providing for them as well. But the decisions, it was Jordan Kemper who wrote the Red Key book, The Red Key Revolution, which I recently saw a great video on with Richard Brooke. And Jordan was telling in there about how he came to write the Red Key. Yes, I can share that real quick. He said that when he was 13, the pastor in his church gathered together 120 13-year-olds and sat them down and had to talk about sexual choices. And he said, this is, 13-year-olds, our hormones are raging. And he talked with them about waiting until marriage. Well, that challenge appealed to Jordan. He gave the boys each a red key, just a regular Ace Hardware key painted red. And Jordan was able to do it. He was able to wait. And he envisioned his future. He envisioned his bride coming up the altar to meet him and being able to tell her and her father that he actually waited for her. And I thought that was a lot of self-discipline for a young boy. So 13 years old, fast forward, he meets his bride at age, he dates, but he waits, and he meets his bride at age 29. So on their wedding day, he gave her the red key and told her what that was about. And he said the look on her face was just priceless. So he said, we're faced with decisions all the day, all through the day, and many of them have to do with what do I want more and what do I want in the moment? And what's the choice between the two? The immediate gratification or maybe what I want more. And he talked about the Marshmallow Experiment with the kids, where long ago you may have heard of it, where you tell the child you can have one marshmallow now, or if you wait 5 minutes, I come back and it's still there, you can have two. And he said, what if we took that a step further and said to the child, and by the way, the people, the few who did get to, went on to become very successful people in their careers and in their lives, which you'd figure, right? Because they could delay gratification and go for more. He said, what if we took it a step further and said, you can have one marshmallow now, or when I come back, you could have a marshmallow that you can give to someone else. Probably be even fewer kids who were willing to think that big. But that is the difference between success, which is for self, and significance, which is then for others. So personally, that is the compelling future that I choose to create for myself and the present, that I have a reason to give it my all. That significance turns me on a lot more than even success or money. The people who are counting on me to come through, to deliver, to show up, to be there for them. So maybe significance is part of your goals for 2019 or the rest of your life. Another question that you could ask is, what mission inspires me? What work do I love? How will my business allow me to live my dream? If I could wave a magic wand, what will my life and my business look like a year from now? And what does that do for you? What does it feel like? What's the best part of that? And why is that the best part? Then write down 3 parts to the goal that are specific, measurable, flexible, and exciting. And then write down the action steps that it will take to do this every day. And Jeff mentioned some action steps, didn't he? But if we boil it down to 3, here's some possible ones. Inviting, for network marketing anyway, inviting people to your business, presenting to them, and we do recommend that you present rather than show a video, because research has shown that 70% of people don't watch videos nowadays. Anyway, if you present it yourself, they can be in the moment and they can know, like, and learn to know, like, and trust you. And then last is perhaps maybe your 3 steps would be a 3-way call or an event to then help them to sign up. So if we look at 3 simple steps or DMO that you could plan for 2019, it might be invite, present, and 3-way call or meeting, whatever that your company culture is. So create those the 3 action steps that you can do and follow every day. Decide how many presentations a day that you will need to reach your goals. Not just how many people you talk to or call or invite, but how many actual presentations a day that you need to do. We recommend that you do at least 2 a day to stay ahead of attrition, and really 5 if you really want to grow. 10 would be an all-out challenge, which you could probably keep up for a little while, like 30 days or so, 90 days. So, Jeff mentioned the favor script. Hey, would you do me a favor? I'd like to let you know what I do in case you run across the right person. You can refer them to me. And follow up with it, is this a good time to talk? You text these to 10 people. Our research has shown that when you do this with 10 people and follow up properly with a 10-minute presentation like we teach, 1 or 2 become customers or distributors. Out of every 10 people that you text, 1 or 2 become customers or distributors. That's pretty good, huh? And it's also an excellent way to start your new recruit out fast and easy, so they have the immediate reinforcement of the success. And it's very duplicatable. It always gets a yes, never gets a no, because if they're your friends, they're curious what you're doing. It's about education, like Jeff said, and it's not about them. They don't have to defend themselves or fend you off or anything like that. They just get to listen and learn. And then they think afterwards you can say, now that you know what I do, are you likely to refer someone to me, or do you have an interest yourself? And if they have an interest, do you have an interest in the product, the business, or both? And then you lead them to the 3-way caller or the meeting. So it's a very unbeatable script. It's a fail-proof script, doesn't get objections, doesn't get pyramid scheme, MLM, stigma, or anything like that. It's just about educating someone and possibly a referral. So it's indirect, it works, it's duplicatable, it's very, very easy. You can write your 10-minute presentation and pass that on to people. We did put this in a book called Always Get a Yes, and I will put the link for that, but if you want that book, the scripts and the techniques and follow-up and how to write a 10-minute presentation, the 5 things it should include, are on pages 5 to 12 of that book called Always Get a Yes. And you can find that book at mlmmillionaireclub.com/yes. mlmmillionaireclub.com/yes. You can find that book there. We also teach, this whole thing is a sample of the classes that we teach on Sunday nights. People are increasingly flocking to that, getting interested, and getting results. As I spoke about, Tammy was the latest story the other night of a lady who jumped 2 ranks, new car bonus, quadrupled her sales using our methods, and all the midst enduring the death of a brother and getting pneumonia herself. This all happened in November for her. So she used this as a stepping stone for her success and poured herself into the business kind of as therapy for what she was going through. So hats off to Tammy and the other people in the class who've told us similar stories of having breakthroughs, stuff they have never done before in network marketing, because they've used this method and the other things that we teach. They're very simple and very direct and easy to do. Also easy to teach and duplicate. So let's see. What else can I share with you? Next time, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. we do a sample of this class. And next time it's going to be called How to Sponsor People You Don't Know. How to sponsor people you don't know. That'd be cool to know, huh? So every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we do a special sample of our classes. And that is that one. If you're interested in the classes, they are at mlmmillionaireclub.com/basics. So the book is at /yes. The book is at, the class is at /basics. mlmmillionaireclub.com/basics. And I will put that in the comments. Now, does anyone have a question? Does anyone have a comment, a takeaway? And while you're thinking of that, this is your chance to ask a network marketing coach. While you're thinking of that, I will just give one final tip on goal setting, and that is to write down the areas in your life of things that you would like how would you like to live materially, relationships, spiritually. What would you like to learn in 2019? Write down these things in all these areas: physical, emotional, mental, relationship, financial, community. And let yourself dream. Maybe write down some outrageous goals that you'd like to even write by the end of your life, and then pick which ones you want to check off in 2019. Let yourself be outrageous. Let yourself not have to limit it or judge it by how could I ever do that. Why don't you just write down your dreams? What I'd love to do if there was no limit. If you could wave that magic wand, just what would you like to do? That's important, to know what your dreams are and what your wishes are. Figure out how later, besides miracles happen. And you've heard a lot of stories of people who just imagine stuff that I would like that, because they're giving I call it their inner child, who probably forgot how to dream, because everybody says, oh, be realistic, you can't have that, get real, so they lose their dreams, they forget about how to dream. And I encourage you to recapture that part of yourself. Don't think about the how, just write down what you love, what you'd wish for, if you could wave a magic wand, and see what happens. Awesome. I'll tell you a little story about that. A friend was teaching a high school class, and she was trying to demonstrate this principle about goal setting and manifesting, and the Azov Principle, the law of assumption, that you imagine something and you feel it with your senses. You visualize it, you hear it, what would this look like, what would it sound like, who's around me, what would it smell like, taste like, feel like, and you imagine it with all your senses. And the class said, well, why don't you prove this to us? And she goes, all right, I always wanted to go up in a hot air balloon, so I would like to go up in a hot air balloon by the next class, which is a week from now. And the class said, she had no clue how this was going to happen, nor could she afford it on her high school teacher's pay or anything like that. But her class said, okay, we're going to put this to the test and see if it really works, right? And so she goes, okay, now I'm really on the spot. Now I've said what I want and dream, and I have no clue, if it can happen or how it can happen. Well, she goes home. A few days later, she gets a call, and somebody says, you have won. You've won this prize that you bought some sort of ticket for, just to donate to the cause. And she wasn't even sure what the prize was. She just donated a few dollars to the cause or bought these tickets. And guess what the prize was? It was a hot air balloon ride. So she went on her hot air balloon ride, and not only that, the press covered it. It was all over the paper, so all of her students knew it by the time she got to school that Sunday, and they were like, whoa, this stuff really works. Now, it may not work that way every time. I like to say to life, I would like this or something better. Maybe life knows what's really better for me more than I know what's better for me. But for her, that's what she asked for, and that's what she got. So let ourselves dream. Write down your bucket list, what you would like by the end of your life, and pick what you are going to commit to give yourself in 2019. Then take the steps to make that happen, because we need to take the action steps, right? Because my friend, she had bought the ticket, even ahead of her own wish. So magic can happen. We do draw things to us from the power of the creative beings that we are. Puts things into action, makes things start moving and happening. And it's always for our best benefit in the end. Let's trust that. Let's set our sights on what our heart desires. And I know a lot of times for many of you that involves other people and the ones that we love, your mission that turns you on. I hope that this helps create a dynamic 2019. Thank you each for joining. Let's keep the conversation going afterward. I love any questions, comments, takeaways that you might care to share, and always to tag people, like even share in other groups so other people can get the information. Thank you very much. Adrian, one of the students in our class, and probably there's other ones. Ignacio's on here, and a lot of times the students jump on. Adrian, you got anything to say before we sign off? Adrian's making some breakthroughs in her business as a result of being in the class. I'm so proud of you for being in there. Thank you for your likes. Thank you. I like seeing your face pop up on those likes. That's really cool. So congratulations everyone for taking the next steps, taking your next steps, being all you can be, and maybe even stepping into significance and seeing how you can do this not just for yourself, but for the people who count on you. Love you, and we'll see you next time. Jeff and I also come on here every weekday, Monday through Friday. Adrian says, I'm thrilled to be here. And you've been in the school for a couple of years now. I'm so glad to know you. You inspire me, Adrian. Thank you. So if you want some more of Jeff and me and what we teach, we're teaching the 21 Irrefutable Laws of John Maxwell for free, weekdays, noon Eastern Time, right here on Facebook Live, on the Facebook group called MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. We teach one of the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. John Maxwell is the #1 leadership coach, which you need if you're going to really make it big and have residual income in network marketing. You develop leaders. You translate what income you would like and what rank you would like into how many leaders it would take to get that. And we teach that. So love to have you. And hi, Ruben. Welcome. I'm just closing out now, but I hope that you all enjoy the information on here and make it a great, you start now in December to make it a great 2019. And by the way, if anybody's interested in doing some personal growth work right now to get clear and get into your 2019 free of the mental blocks that you are ready to let go of, then private message me, because I'm leading people through mental clearings right now that are very, very powerful, including with some preparation with John Bradshaw's work, Homecoming, working with our history, what we learned earlier in life. I'm a body-mind therapist, so I've been doing this work for 30 years, this inner child work with people. So if you're interested in that adventure and getting free, it's very exciting, very dynamic, then just private message me and can hook you up. Okay, everybody take care. Bye-bye.